What's up, guys? So because I'm an oddball, I get up on my day off, the weekend. My wife's working. Some weekends she works. So I get up at 6 a.m. when I don't have to go to the grocery store because they open at 7 a.m. just because I like to beat the mad rush, and really I don't like dealing with a lot of people around because I like to go, get my stuff, and be gone. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about, have I lost my mind? Have I betrayed Chevy? So, to get into a little detail, let's head out here. So, to get into a little detail, growing up, I love Chevy. Chevrolet is my favorite brand, always. In fact, most of the vehicles I've owned were all Chevys. And yeah, when I was young, dumb, and immature, I used to bash Ford all the time. I mean, all the time. I would make fun of Ford owners. I would say that only lowlifes drive Fords. And who knows what else I said when I was a 17-year-old idiot, because I was a 17-year-old idiot. I was immature. Now, sure, I never drank, I never smoked, I never done drugs, I never got into the party scene, I never, but you don't have to get into that stuff to be an idiot. I was very prideful back then on things that I thought had to be a certain way, or I thought, okay, well, I love Chevy, so everybody else, who cares? I didn't really mind Dodge. So, I mean, I always made different things up. Like, my sister had an Eclipse at the time, so I made up the saying, "Dumb old Dodge get Eclipse," which I didn't really care too much about Eclipse. It was just, yeah. So anyway, the last 3 vehicles that I have owned are Fords. And you might think, so what? I just switched. I went to the dark side. Why? What was the reason to go into Ford? So let's get into another backstory. In the good old days, I dated this girl whose whole family loved Ford. I think, they all drove Fords, or mostly all drove Fords. And, I used to always make fun of their Fords. And, of course, I remember a lot of times they'd always make fun of Chevys. Well, the one time, which is pretty hilarious, the girl that I was with, her brother, put on, I forget what it was. He had extra speakers or something, and I had a Chevy S10 ZR2 at the time, and on the back he wrote on the speakers, for sale, $150, truck goes with them, or something like that. I forget. I don't know if I still have the photo or not. I have like 20,000 photos from growing up and stuff, so I don't know if it's somewhere with them or not. I haven't checked those photos for probably 6-7 years, which I probably really should go through and delete photos. But anyway, so yeah, that's just how it was. But as I got older, me and that girl went our own separate ways, and I got older, I started to realize that it's kind of really immature to make fun of a brand that someone else likes. Like, it's really childish. Like, what's the point? Okay, so what? I was brought up with my dad. He kind of likes all kinds of cars. I think he really likes Dodge. Hold on. I want to focus here because these people are being idiot drivers. Okay, so now to refocus on what I'm saying. So my dad liked Dodge, liked Chevys. I don't think he really ever liked Ford too much, but I just always loved Chevys. So I always bought Chevys, square bodies, Chevelle, Firebirds, Camaros. I love them all. So almost home. So to wrap this up a bit, you know, as I got older in my 20s, like 23, 24, 25, I realized that it's very immature to make fun of somebody's vehicle based off of a brand, because every brand has issues. Every brand has pluses and minuses, good features, bad features. So it wasn't until like 26 or 27 I got my first Ford. It was a Ford F-150. It was a 4.6, the Triton V8. Yeah, I think it was Triton or Triton. I'm not 100% sure, and I still am learning about Fords. I mean, I grew up working on Chevys all my life, so now I'm working on Fords. But yeah, so you know, it was a nice truck. Horrible turn radius. It was a long Ford F-150, single cab, long bed, 4x4. Horrible gas mileage. Horrible turn radius. The thing was slower than any V6 I've ever driven, even though it was a 4.6 V8. It was a slug. But you know, it was nice. I liked it. I didn't mind it. Now it did give me some issues. I got it from a dealer and put some money into it, did new exhaust and stuff, and I started having idle issues with it. Then I started reading on stuff, people saying about, you know, get rid of them because I forget what it was. Something goes out and it's extremely costly to replace it, the internals. So I went to the same dealer and traded that F-150 in on the Ford Explorer that I have now, that I'm driving in right now. So what I have now is a 1998 Ford Explorer. So, you know, I've had a lot of Chevys to compare. First of all, the Silverados I've had blow that F-150 out of the water. Really, I got a Ford because I wanted to, you know, extend my ownership of stuff just to see how things were. You know, it's comfortable. It was an okay Ford, but the Silverados blew that out of the water that I've had. The Ford was a 2001. I don't know if I said that. So traded it in on the 98 Ford Explorer I have now. I've had this for over 2 years and I like it. It's nice, compact, small. You know, it fits in a lot of places. Turn radius is not bad. It's pretty decent. Gas mileage is not that great. It's the 4.0 V6. You know, it's nice. It's nice, and you know it has issues, but that's the thing. All vehicles have issues. I haven't had to spend too much money on it in 2 years, so that's great. 135,000 miles, so not too bad, and it's actually been close to that. So in 2 years and some months, whatever, I've only put on probably 5,000 miles because I don't drive much. So, you know, I haven't really done much to cause any issues. It might be 6,000 to 7,000 miles. But yeah, I like it. It's nice. I give it an 8 out of 10 just because, you know, you can get them for a very cheap price. They are, you know, practical, easy to haul stuff in. So, you know, I like it overall. Great vehicle. Yeah, I like it. Comparing it to my Chevy Trailblazer. The Trailblazer was a 4.2 straight six V6. Yeah, straight six, not V6. Straight six. That thing, the power of that thing would blow this thing out of water. This is snappy. I got to give it credit for being a little V6, but my Trailblazer, that's one thing I have noticed. All of the Chevys that I've had, V6 or V8s, the power and torque blow the Fords out of the water that I've had. But the Fords that I've had are more comfortable than the F-150 and the Silverados were pretty close. I think the Silverados for luxury had a little more to offer than the F-150. We're talking 97 and 98 and versus the 2001 Ford F-150. But the Explorer versus the Trailblazer was built better. This Explorer is definitely built cheaper, but you know, it's nice. It's nothing wrong with it. I'm happy to drive it. But yeah, power, as far as power goes, you know, Chevy's had a lot more than that, than the Fords that I've had. Now I've recently got a Ford Mustang that I'm working on building out, and I'm doing a lot of stuff to it. That is the 2008 Ford Mustang Deluxe Edition, 4.0 V6, and that is actually pretty quick. It has computer chip installed, so, you know, and I think it has a shift kit, but I'm not 100% sure. It feels like a shift kit. So that thing's pretty fast. I mean, I put that up there with a lot of the other V6 Camaros I've had. So yeah, that's pretty quick. One thing I do notice about newer Fords, luxury is a little better. Like, the seats are more comfortable. Like the Mustang, the seat, I can adjust the height up and down. I mean, that's awesome. So I'm no longer sitting down in my seat. Like in the Firebirds and Camaros, you sit down. Ford Mustang handles amazing. You know, I fell in love with my Ford Mustang. I absolutely love it. But, you know, comparing it to Chevy and stuff, you know, have I gone to the dark side? I mean, my last 3 vehicles have been Ford. But I would say no. I love Chevys. But I do love Fords. And I do love Dodges. I've never owned a Dodge, but I love the Challengers, especially the Hellcats, the Chargers. Some of the Darts are pretty cool. You know, I should point out that growing up, I loved all the old cars. So like the Ford Mustang Mach 1s and the Boss and the King Cobra and all that. I've loved that. All old cars I pretty much love. But yeah, so now I honestly say I love Fords, I love Dodge, I love Chevy. Yeah, I'm very happy with everything. And one thing I've noticed, you know, I think it comes with age, hopefully, or maturity, that you realize that every make and model has issues and it has its pluses. So now I'm not switching from Ford to Chevy. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. It has to do with, I like what I have, and I like all vehicles. It's fun. It's honestly, it's so fun to have different types of vehicles and learn, you know, the little kinks here and the issues and the pluses and stuff. It's a lot of fun. So, all right, guys, got groceries in the back, so I'm gonna wrap this up. How do I compare the Mustang to the Camaros and the Firebirds? First of all, Trans Ams I love. They offered so much for the years. For example, the 2002 Trans Am has a lot of stuff that the 2008 Mustang doesn't even have yet. But I love them. I love them both. Like I love my Mustang. I really do love it. The turn radius is phenomenal. I mean, I can whip a Yui. No, I haven't not whipped a Yui. Well, actually, in a parking lot I have. So that's what I mean. Not like on the streets. I'm not that stupid anymore. Maybe when I was younger I would have whipped a Yui in a street or something, but no, not anymore. I meant like going to a grocery store and, you know, turning really sharp. So amazing. Gas mileage, good, but you know, it is the 4.0, so I think you can get, it said 24 to 26 miles per gallon. It did say up to 29, but it says vary depending on blah blah blah. So yeah, you know, I can't compare anything. I can only compare, you know, I'm not comparing brands anymore. It's immature to compare Ford versus Chevy. It is so immature. First of all, you need to have a vehicle that's the same year. So you need a 2018 Mustang and a 2018 Camaro and a 2018 Corvette to, you know, to go against them. And, you know, then you got to have the same specs. You know, you got to have the same type motor and stuff to really compare. And I think it's just preference, and it's honestly what you really like. So I gotta get the groceries in, guys. Take care. If you want to talk more on this subject, let me know and I'll do so. Yeah, so no, I love Chevys, I love Dodge, I love Fords. I love them all, because if you're a true car person or truck person, you really do love them all, because they all bring something to the table.